Hello, is this Atlas? I need a car for my Texas excursion trip.
I need a car for my business trip to Nabongo.
Can I book a car to chauffeur my family to the airport?
The winner, ladies and gentlemen, Atlas rents a car.
Greetings from Our Lady of Grace Senior High School, a Catholic private senior high school located at Mampontein in the Ashanti region of Ghana, just 15 kilometers from the center of Kumasi. ULAG is a citadel of excellence because we have qualified and experienced staff, ultra-modern academic, domestic, recreational, and healthcare facilities, coupled with scholarship opportunities for brilliant but needy students.
ULAG is now a unique name. Why? The reason being that at ULAG, much emphasis is placed on quality delivery.
With our small class sizes and individualized education policy, we are able to help our students to become the best version of themselves.
By the start of WASSCE exams, almost everything in the syllabus from Form 1 to Form 3 was covered. And therefore, our students always at the time of WASSCE are well prepared, very confident. Bring your child or your ward to ULAG and you will never regret you did. For at ULAG, the citadel of excellence, our hallmark is excellence.
I'm proud to be associated with the school. I think it's the most beautiful school in Ghana.
We urge parents to bring their awards to us and we give them the best. Thank you.
So with the light, everything be okay. So just to place it, we don't be behind the camera. Yeah. Or the mirror inside. Okay. So if we press record, the record flows are going, flows are.
Yeah, mistake, right? Okay. Hello, BBQ family, teachers, and contestants. I am Mauli Ajero.
And I'm Cornelius Savonyo.
Well, we are part of a team of consultants who put together the maths questions for the BBQ 2021 competition. And we are here to do a review of our maths questions and generally things we observed and the way forward for the next competition and competitions ahead. Okay, so we want to begin with this. Cornelius, what did you observe generally from, in the competition, the maths questions, when we got to the maths wheel? What was your observation generally?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mauli. From observing from the math wheel, I would say the students really did well.
Okay.
Taking it from the regional contest into the national contest.
Okay.
They did very well in the regionals.
Okay.
When it came to the nationals,
Okay.
same the standard was raised a little above what
Wow.
what they encountered in the regional. So the expectations that they had coming from the backdrop of the regionals was a little high.
Okay.
So it got some of them struggling a little bit, but I'll say generally they did well.
I really agree with you because these students amaze me. Even though the standard was high, the response we got from them generally, the confidence they exhibited on stage was amazing. And some of them, though, well, they tried to solve the questions, but they couldn't get, but the confidence that came out of them was amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, when I compare myself to some of these children when I was in JSS, I don't think if I were in a competition like this with them, I don't think I'll see top.
Yeah. They were brilliant on the day.
They were really, really brilliant. Yeah. And just to add a little to what you said, I think that the questions were quite different in the sense that they were more of application. Do you agree with me?
It's true. I do agree with you. Most of the questions, about 90 to 95% were practical.
Were practical questions.
Practical questions.
Wow.
And I think that is where some of them, the challenge was.
Whoa,
yes.
wow, okay.
Because they were practical, which they are not used to in their classroom work.
Okay.
Most of them are not used to.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Working at it, especially on stage,
Okay.
you have to think through and do it was the challenge of some of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we are used to x plus 1 equals 5. Find x.
Exactly. Exactly.
But we are not used to real life problems that how to see these equations in our real life problems and solve them. Yeah. Okay. But in your observation, Cornelius, do you think that the tools that they are equipped with in their JHS education, that all these mathematical tools they are equipped, do you think they were enough to solve these real life problems that we give to them?
Thank you very much. I think the tools were enough.
Okay.
Because looking at all the questions that they encountered, they were questions coming out from the topics that they are supposed to know
exactly so.
in JHS.
Yeah.
Especially this year's content, the 2021, almost all the contestants, most of them. I know there were some Form 2 contestants, but most of them have already finished writing BEC. They've completed JHS.
Okay.
So the topics that they encountered were topics that they were supposed to have known, in the exception of some 1 or 2, which they should expect though, going forward.
Yeah, well, this is a competition, so you should expect 1 or 2 things outside, you know, the coverage area, if I should say. So going forward, because this year there'll be 2022 championship. We'll go through the regionals, we'll go through, and then we'll meet for the national. What advice should we give our contestants and the teachers as they prepare them? I mean, going forward, what should they expect in our maths questions?
Right. Going forward, I think, like we've already said, they should look out for practical
questions,
math questions,
word problems.
Word problems. Yes, what they call word problems.
Okay.
Practical based math questions.
Okay.
Yes, because that's a standard that as BBQ math we want to set.
Okay.
We don't want math to just look like a subject which is only relevant in the classroom.
Okay.
And when you come out of the classroom, your math is over.
We don't know what we can do with the mathematics.
We don't know what we can do.
Yeah.
Exactly. I do remember this when I completed JHS many years ago.
Okay.
There was once I was in the parish in which I was, St. Francis of Assisi.
Okay.
And I was by then a librarian.
Okay.
And then when they were constructing the room, the mason, or let me say the constructor, by then, came to me and was in front of the altar. They were supposed to do a curve.
Okay.
And then he said he wanted to measure the frontage of the curve.
Okay.
So I should calculate as you calculate the circumference of the curve. So at that,
I hope that rings a bell. Circumference of a circle.
The circumference of the circle. So at that point, by then I've just finished BC, waiting for my result.
Okay.
At that point, I just have to go and use the formula for finding circumference of a circle.
C equals 2 pi r. Okay.
And then ask him, oh, okay, so what distance, what radius are we looking at? He mentioned it from. I was able to calculate it from. And it was from that point I said, wow, the math I learned in the classroom
can be applied.
Can be applied.
Wow.
Can be applied.
And I think that one of the problems or one of the causes for the response of students to mathematics is that they don't really know what we do with the maths in real life. I mean, every now and then you find students asking you, so what am I going to use this for? And when that question is not able to be answered, or you don't find solutions to such questions for students, they just get discouraged and they feel like, wow, I mean, they are just wasting our time. Let's just do something. Because we want to pass an exams, But that shouldn't be the case. Yeah, that shouldn't be the case. Okay, the next thing I wish we look at, you see, in any competition, BBQ 2021, you notice that a question is thrown out there, and if it's 2 schools or 3 schools, everybody is in a rush, as it were, to solve the question, to be the first to solve the question, and not only just in a hurry to solve the question, but to solve it correctly. Now, what do you think, what are some of the pieces of advice we can give to these students in order to build speed and accuracy as they get ready for 2022 championship?
Okay. The very first thing I can say when it comes to speed and being able to answer is practice.
Wow.
Practice. You see, the thing about maths is practice is that which makes you conversant with whatever you are working.
Wow.
The more you practice it, the more you know the in and out of the topics and what to expect.
like not to cut you, like one of my masters used to say, you know the maths, you know the questions and the questions know you. You know the topic and they know you.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So the first point is practice.
Practice.
As I said.
Practice.
So I believe the 2021 questions will be put out there for them. And solutions, especially the X factors like this. We've provided the solutions to this question. So as they practice it more and more, they become used to it. And when they are used to it, I'm sure they do not have difficulty with the speed. Because once I'm used to it, when I'm working it, before I even get there, I know what I'm about to write. So time-wise, I'll be able to work it within the
the shortest possible time.
The shortest possible time. Yeah.
And just to add a few to what you said, the fact that you are in a competition with another school, other people, if you're not careful, sometimes you can be in a rush and be impatient and make mistakes. You see, but I think one piece of advice I'll give to our contestants is, much as you want to work very fast, you have to be patient. You have to be focused. You have to be confident about, in yourself, that what I'm doing is right, and go for it. And I really like this word, practice. 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 Practice and practice. When you practice, you become perfect. When you practice, you gain control over the questions. When you practice, you are excited. When you see the questions, you know what to do. And you know, our motto, BBQ's motto is that it's mental, not what?
Not muzzle.
Not muzzle. It's mental. I want to advise students to learn to work a lot of things with your mind. Remember when we were in class 2, class 3, your teacher walks into the class. Immediately after, I went to one school there in La Paz. I remember once we come out from assembly. Mental. 3792.
Very true.
Very true.
Very true.
And you have to learn to work things out with your mind. Yeah, I suggest that students should develop the attitude of working. You can sit somewhere, a question is thrown out there, and then you are trying to see how you can work these things out in your mind, find several ways of solving it, of working the question very, very fast. Yeah. I think it will be very helpful if we take some of these things.
That's true. I agree with you.
You should learn to master your multiplication very well. You see, the foundation of mathematics is arithmetic. Because arithmetic deals with the study of numbers and the operations that act on these numbers. And everything is built on arithmetic. You see, so your multiplication, your addition, even the normal times table, master the times table, master how to even multiply, master the 13 times table, 14 times table, 15 times table, go the extra mile, and develop very, very fast ways of doing your multiplication. It will help you to solve questions very, very fast. You'll be shocked.
I think I agree with you. Okay. Most of the times we throw away the basics.
Lay down the basics.
Lay down the basics. But these same basics are what we need to build on. So when the basics are there, I'm sure the math should not be a subject or an area that we fear. It's exciting. In fact, math is very exciting.
Yeah, math is very exciting.
Very, very exciting.
Very, very
and
exciting.
I remember in the tertiary, the motto of the Math Society, they call it the TMS, the Math Society. They say math is the language of creation.
Wow.
So according to them, creation or language of creation, all that we do is mathematics.
It's mathematics, And just to chip in, I remember reading when I was young. I mean, as a lover of mathematics myself, I used to wonder, what is mathematics? And then I read in some books somewhere that math is the study of patterns. And then later in the years, I remember a professor in TED, TEDx, is it TED? They call them. And he also mentioned that math is the science of patterns. So anytime you are working mathematics, as you work with figures, learn the behavior of figures. Learn the way figures behave. And you will not have problems when you meet them in other questions you have to solve, okay?
And because we are talking about JHS, there is a topic in Form 1.
Okay.
Yeah, Form 1, which talks about the divisibility of numbers.
Divisibility test.
So you look at the numbers. Once I look at the number, and if it's a number which ends with an even number or 0, I know that it is divisible by 2.
Wow.
I know it's divisible by 2. I look at the numbers. If I add the various digits, and the sum of the digits I get is a number which can be divided by 3. I know the whole number is divisible by 3. And this is a topic in Form 1, JHS 1.
Wow.
So when you take such a topic serious, when you encounter questions like this in the quiz, you shouldn't have a problem at all.
So, Cornelius, I just want to ask you a question before we tend to solving some of the questions that we actually met in the BBQ 2021 competition.
Okay.
What are some of can we discuss some applications of mathematics in real life?
Right. We know in Ghana and various parts of the world, whenever fuel prices increases, transportation fares also do increase. They are affected by the increase in fuel price. So the fuel price have increased. And because of that, maybe drivers want to increase their fare. And as a student, if I hear that, nationwide, every transportation price or fare is being increased by, for instance, 20%. And maybe I have been boarding vehicle from my home to school at 1 city. When I hear, the transportation price is being increased by 20%, quickly I can calculate. So from this day going, I'm no longer going to pay my 1 cedi. 20% increment of 1 cedi. It's 1 cedi, 20%.
Yeah, 1 cedi, 20 pesos.
That is application of mathematics.
Maths can be, even in biology, in chemistry, in pharmacy, if a pharmacist wants to determine the amount of active ingredient in a drug. It's all mathematics. They have to calculate some particular volume, some particular amount. It's all mathematics. You meet a doctor and he has to administer some dosage of drugs for you. He has to do it. He has to do a particular amount of it so that he doesn't give you too much or too little. Yeah. When I was young, my mom used to use something to test or to check our blood pressure, and my mom told me it's called sphygmomanometer. You know, and I realize, and I'm sure students are acquainted with this instrument that is used to measure blood pressure. So when a nurse is checking your blood pressure, I mean, the figures that register as a result of the check can determine whether you are healthy or not, whether your blood pressure is too high or too low, or whether you are healthy. If it's 120/80, I think it's very good. But if it's more than that, then you know that danger approaches. And it's all mathematics. The figures there are mathematics that really that have an interpretation to whether you are healthy or you are not healthy. So maths can be applied in every sphere of life. Okay, So at this stage, we want to turn attention to about 4 questions that we met in the BBQ 2021 championship, national championship. We want to solve just 4 of them, and we'll actually take our time and solve them and show you some of the tricks that you could have employed in solving them very, very fast. Okay. Now we'll do them slowly, gently, but then in actual fact, if you were solving them in the competition, you have to work very, very fast. A lot of things would also have to be done mentally so that you can move very, very fast. Okay. So we'll take the first question very soon, and then we'll see where we'll see how we go. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so like Mr. Mauli just said, we are taking about 3 or 4 questions from the 2021 BBQ Math Wheel. There are questions that were asked during the contest, so that he will solve them and then explain to us what was expected from us. Right, so I think we can go. The first question you are taking.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, okay, so I'm reading the first question, and it's raised. How many elements? And this is a short work question. You remember in the contest, we had short work question and long work question. The short work question, we were expecting you to have finished solving the question within 10 seconds.
Okay.
And the long work was 30-second question. And so this is a short work question. The question said, how many elements belong to the following set?
Okay.
G equals X is such that X is an element of real numbers. And 1 plus X squared equals 0.
Okay. Now, this set has been described in set builder notation, okay? And we are told that X is a real number. X is a real number. Now, but there's a condition that X must satisfy, and that when you add 1 to the square of X, it should be equal to 0. Okay? X is a real number. Now, so in your mind, you're asking yourself, what number, at least, can I get at least one number which when I square, I'll add that value or the result to 1 and it will be equal to 0. Now, we know that for all real numbers, whether they are positive or negative, when we square them, we are going to get another positive number.
Exactly.
Okay, so when I add any positive number to 1, definitely I'm not going to get 0. I'll get something which is bigger than 0. Now, the smallest number we can even think about is 0. That is, when you square 0, it's going to be 0. 0 plus 1 is still not giving us 0. So right there we can see that there is no number that satisfies this condition. So it means that this set is actually empty. Now, on the other hand, a student may not think about what I've just said, and probably because you've seen an equation 1 plus x squared, you want to solve for x and see exactly what x will be equal to. Okay, so if 1 plus x squared is equal to 0, what will be x squared? X squared will be what? Negative 1. Now, how do we get the negative 1? Now, for information, we don't get the negative 1 by moving 1 to the right-hand side. It looks, we've been making that statement a lot. We don't actually move numbers to over equal to signs. No, we don't do that in mathematics. What we do, what I've actually done is that I've added negative 1 to both sides. Negative 1 has been added to both sides. And what has happened is that negative 1 plus 1 is giving me 0. 0 plus x squared is what is giving me the x squared. And so here I have 0 minus 1. And that is what usually we say wrongly, that 1 has been moved to the other side and now is negative. We really don't move numbers to over equal to signs in mathematics. Okay, well, let's go on. So x squared is 0 minus 1, which is negative 1. And so to find x, we have to find the square root of both sides. Find the square root of x squared. You find the square root of negative 1. Okay? Now, the square root of x squared is x. The square root of x squared. When you square any number and you find the square root of that square, you come back to the number. The square root of 5 squared is 5. Because 5 squared is 25. So the square root of 25 gives us 5. Okay? But something happens here. What's the square root of negative 1? In the set of real numbers, there's nothing like the square root of a negative number. In that family we call real numbers, there's nothing like the square root of a negative number. So right there, the conclusion is that there is no real number, okay, that will satisfy this condition. So the conclusion is that G is empty. Or, of course, you remember this is how, sometimes this is how we write the empty set, or we can even write the empty set this way. Okay, so that's the end of the first question. Okay. Okay, now remember that this is a quiz. So really, you can just equate this to 0 and then say x is equal to the square root of negative 1 and you are done. You can even solve this in 3 seconds, maximum 5 seconds, okay? But it's because we are trying to explain to you how to really get a solution to the problem. We've taken our time, okay? So we'll take the next question, question 2.
Okay, so let's take the second question. It is a long work question. And as you know, the long work, the contestants were required to work it within 30 seconds.
Yes.
Okay, so the question says 2 classes were given a math test.
Okay.
The first class had 25 students.
Okay, so in the first class
there were 25
students. Okay.
And their mean score was 86%.
86%. Okay.
The second class had 15 students.
15 students. Okay, students.
And their mean score was 94%.
94%.
if the teacher combined the test scores of both classes.
Okay, so for the combined class we'll have a total of 40 students now.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the mean of both classes together?
The mean of both classes combined.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have two classes. We are combining the two classes, and we're going to have a total of 40 students when the two classes are combined. Now, we know that to find the mean, we need to know the sum of all their scores divided by the total number of students. Okay.
Exactly.
Now, to get the sum of all the scores of the first class, we'd have to multiply 25 by 86 because 86 was the mean score multiplied by the total number of students in the first class.
Yeah.
And then we'll add that to the product of 15 and 94. 94 being the mean score in the second class. There's a total of 15 students. Multiplying 94 by 15, and we get the total mark, that was scored in that class also. So right now, this expression here gives us the total score of all the 40 students in both the first and the second class. Okay. Now, to find the mean, we'd have to divide this by 40. Okay. So the setup is very simple. Now, the challenge or the next phase is how to multiply these things very fast because you're in a competition. Somebody is also trying to work this thing out so that he gets the answer before you.
Exactly.
So what do you do? Now, in my mind, let me share something with you. I know that 25 is 2.5 multiplied by 10. Okay, multiplied by 86 plus, and then 15 is also 1.5 multiplied by 10, okay, multiplied by my 94, and then all divided by 40. At this point of the problem, in finding the solution to the problem, we are basically done with the problem. Now, what is left is who will be able to multiply and add and divide these things very fast. You see, so once again, like we were saying previously, a few minutes ago, that the basics, the additions, the multiplications, you shouldn't take them lightly.
Yeah.
Don't take them lightly at all, because this is going to determine whether you score 5 marks or not. Somebody may take your marks because you may not be fast. Okay? So how do we work this out? 2.5 multiplied by 86. 2.5 simply means that I have 2 of the 86 plus half of it. Now, 2 of the 86 is going to give me 172.
Exactly.
172 plus half of 86. 172 plus 43. See, 172 plus 43 is going to give me 215. Okay, but remember, there is a 10 here multiplying this. So at the end of the day, I have 2150 plus, and then 1.5 multiplied by 94. That is 94 plus half of the 94. Half of 94 is 47. So I have 94 plus 47, giving me 141. But then there's a 10 here, which is going to multiply which is also multiplying the 141. So I have 1410 divided by 40. Okay. Now add this to that, and of course that is 3560. If you can see that 0 plus 0 is 0, 1 plus 5 is 6, 4 plus 1 is 5, and 1 plus 2 is 3 divided by 40. So here 4 will go into 35 8 times. 4, 8, 32, remember 3. So 36 over there, 4, 9, 36. It means that the average score for the combined class will be 89. Okay, these are some of the fast ways I think you can work some of these questions. There are there are ways to multiply figures. For instance, if you're multiplying any number by 11, let's say you're multiplying 21 by 11. The moment you see, the product of a number by 11, you just pick your 2 and 1. You see, 2, 1, 21. You're multiplying 21 by 11. And then add 1 to 2, you get 3. You are done. 2, 3, 1, you are done. Yeah. You don't have to go 1 by 1, 1 by 2. No, don't do that. If you're multiplying, let's say 45 by 11, you have your 4 and 5 down there, 4 and 5, and then in between them, add 4 to 5. You have 9. You are done. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think it's a very cool. I think it's cool. Okay. Maybe later we'll talk about more of these things. Okay. But we'll go to the third question immediately.
Hello, is this Atlas? I need a car for my Texas excursion trip.
I need a car for my business trip to Navongo.
Can I book a car to chauffeur my family to the airport?
The winner, ladies and gentlemen, Atlas rents a car.
Okay, so we take the third question.
Okay.
Where is a long word question, also 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says a 500-liter tank full of kerosene.
Okay, so
500-liter tank.
Total capacity.
Full of kerosene.
Okay.
It's being drained at a constant rate of 20 liters per minute.
So after every 1 minute, it loses 20 liters
of kerosene.
So for every minute, we lose 20 liters. Okay.
Yeah. How many liters are in the tank after 11 minutes, 45 seconds?
So after 11 minutes, 45 seconds, we want to know the quantity of kerosene that is in the tank. Left in the tank. Now, so the strategy we use is to find how much or the quantity of kerosene that is lost after 11 minutes, 45 seconds, okay? Then when we know that, we are going to take that from 500 and then we know what is left. Okay. Now, I think this is a very simple proportion question. If after 1 minute we lose 20 liters, what quantity will we lose after 11 minutes, 45 seconds, okay? Now, but for consistency, it will be advisable to convert 45 seconds to minutes. So that will be 11 minutes plus 45 seconds. We know there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So for 45 seconds, that will be 45 divided by 60 minutes. Okay, we're going to rewrite this as 11 minutes. Well, let's take away the minutes. In the meantime, that will be 11 plus 45 over 60. We're going to do a division. 15 will go into 45 3 times. 15 will go into 60 4 times. Add 11 to 3 over 4. That's 4 times 11. 44 plus 3, 47. Divided by 4 minutes. So once again, well, let's do this. So what we are saying is that for 1 minute, after every minute, we lose 20 liters. So what quantity are we going to lose after 47 over 4 minutes? Okay, now, excuse me. We can just do this. Sometimes some students like to put an X here and then they do the cross multiplication and then they find X, okay? I think we can go by that. So by cross multiplication, X times 1 is X. That is equal to 47 over 4 times 20. And of course, 4 will go into 25 times. So X will be 5 times 47, which will be 235 liters, because 5 times 7 is 35. 5, remember 3, 5 times 4 is 20 plus 3, 23. So now what is X? X is the quantity of kerosene that has been lost after 11 minutes, 45 seconds. So if we have to find the quantity of kerosene left, all we have to do is 500 minus 235, and that is 265 liters of kerosene that is left, okay? Now, there's an alternative solution, and we will do that in a minute, okay? Just hang on.
Greetings from Our Lady of Grace Senior High School, a Catholic private senior high school located at Mampontein in the Ashanti region of Ghana, just 15 kilometers from the center of Kumasi. OLAC is a citadel of excellence because we have qualified and experienced staff, ultra-modern academic, domestic, recreational, and healthcare facilities, coupled with scholarship opportunities for brilliant but needy students.
OLAC is now a unique name. Why? The reason being that at OLAC, much emphasis is placed on quality delivery.
With our small class sizes and individualized education policy, we are able to help our students to become the best version of themselves.
By the start of WASSCE exams, almost everything in the syllabus from Form 1 to Form 3 was covered. And therefore, our students always at the time of WASSCE are well prepared, very confident. Bring your child or your ward to OLAC and you will never regret you did. For at OLAC, the citadel of excellence, our hallmark is excellence.
I'm proud to be associated with the school. I think it's the most beautiful school in Ghana.
We urge parents to bring your awards to us and we give them the best. Thank you.
Alternatively, because there's a constant rate of loss of one quantity with time, we can model this whole problem as a linear graph, okay? So where our y-axis represents the volume, okay? And then the x-axis represents time in minutes. Now, also remember that because there's a loss in the quantity of kerosene in the tank with time, our straight line will look this way. See, the gradient has to be negative. The gradient has to be negative. Now, you and I know that the general linear equation is y equals mx plus c. In this case, y will represent the volume, okay? Our volume V will be equal to m is m in the linear equation is a slope, which is the change in y over the change in x. Now, in this problem, it is negative 20 liters over time in minutes. That was what we're given, okay? So see, this L represents volume on the y-axis, minutes represent time on the x-axis. Now, x is the period in which this loss occurs, which is 11 minutes, 45 seconds. Remember, we converted 11 minutes, 45 seconds, and we got 47 over 4 in minutes. Plus C. C is 500 liters. That's where we began from. Okay, now there's also a consistency here with our units, because notice that minutes will cancel minutes. And this first term will all be in liters. The second term is in liters. And remember, the volume itself, which is on the right-hand side, is also liters. Now, the volume we calculate here is the volume left. Is the volume left in the tank, okay? So our volume left, V, will be minus 20 times 47.
Over 4.
Divided by 4. Okay, so I have to cancel this out and I have 5, okay? So 4 going to 25 times, we have negative 5 times 47, which is negative 235 plus 500 liters, okay? So, which is 265 liters. So the advantage in using the linear equation is that it gives you the volume of kerosene left directly, the volume of kerosene left in the tank, okay? Unlike the first case where we actually calculated the volume that we lost, and then we take that volume from the total capacity of the tank to get the 265. But in this case, we get the 265 directly, okay? Great.
Okay, so we take our fourth question, and there's also a long work question, okay. And it's 30 seconds. You know, during the contest, most of the teachers were saying the long work questions were difficult and couldn't be worked within 30 seconds. Okay. And that the short work, they were able to manage them. So that's why we are taking most of the long work questions. Okay. So this question says, a swimming pool can be filled by pump A in 4 hours.
Pump A takes
4 hours to fill.
A. It takes time 4 hours. Okay.
Yeah, to fill a swimming pool.
Okay.
And by pump B in 6 hours.
Pump B will take 6 hours to fill the same
swimming pool.
Okay.
Each pump working on its own.
Okay, that's when they are working on individually.
Individually.
Okay. Which means that pump A works much faster than pump B because it will take less time to achieve the same result.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At 10:20 a.m.
Okay, time.
At 10:20 a.m. Pump A is started.
Okay.
At what time would the swimming pool be filled if pump B started at 11:20 a.m.?
Okay, so pump B started an hour later.
Right. After pump A.
After pump A began filling the tank. Okay. Yeah. Now, this is a rate question because the rate will be equal to volume over time.
Yeah.
Volume over time taken.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Which means that volume will be rate times time.
Exactly.
Okay? Now, so we want to begin by finding the rate at which pump A works and then the rate at which pump B also works. Exactly. So, rate for pump A will be equal to volume.
Yeah.
Let's say that the volume or the capacity of the tank, is it tank?
Yes, it's tank.
It's tank.
Swimming pool.
The capacity of the swimming pool that they are filling is, let's say, V divided by time divided by 4.
Yeah.
Now,
so this is the rate for at which pump A is working.
Okay. Okay. Now, the rate at which pump B is working again is volume over time 6 hours.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to develop a very simple linear equation because the total volume the total volume that is going to be filled will be the volume of water that will come from pump A plus the volume of water that will come from pump B.
Okay.
So total volume, which is V, is going to be the volume of water from pump A. Let's call it VA plus volume of water that will come from pump B.
Okay.
Now, one thing too we shouldn't forget is actually the volume of water that pump A is going to release is actually a fraction of the total volume V. The volume of water coming from pump B is also a fraction of the total volume V. Okay. Now, from this equation, by cross multiplication, volume will be equal to rate times time.
Okay.
So V will be equal to, what will be the rate for pump A? That is V over 4. Multiplied by time. Let's say that the time taken for pump A to work is T.
Okay.
Plus, once again, volume of water that pump B will release. Volume, we know, is rate times time.
Okay.
The rate at which pump B is working is V over 6 multiplied by the time it took. Now, the beautiful thing is that the swimming pool got filled while both of them were working.
Okay.
But then pump B began an hour later.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
An hour later.
Yeah.
If pump A started at time T, it means that pump B will began at T minus 1.
Exactly.
Or rather, let's put it this way. If it takes pump A T hours to work, it will take pump B T minus 1 hours to work. Okay. Assuming it took pump A 4 hours to work, because pump B began an hour later, it will take pump B 4 minus 1 hour.
Yeah.
That is why we have T minus 1. Okay. Now, the beautiful thing I see, I don't know whether our students can see that there is V, V, V in all the terms. Okay, so right away you can just divide through by V. If we divide through by V, we have 1, because when we divide this by V, we get 1. When we divide this by V, V divided by the V, we'll take this V off, so we have T over 4. Plus, once again, we're dividing this whole term by V, so the V will go off, and we have 1 over 6 multiplied by T minus 1.
Okay.
This is a very simple linear equation, okay? So the denominators for the fractions are 4 and 6. The LCM of 4 and 6 is 12, so we multiply through by 12, okay? 12 times 1 is 12, is equal to 12 times T over, let me take my time and write everything. 12 times T over 4 plus 12 times 1 over 6 into bracket T minus 1. Okay, so we have 12 is equal to 12. 4 will go into 12 3 times, so we have 3 times T, giving us 3T, plus 6 will go into 12 2 times. And let's just do this. Expand simultaneously, okay? So 12 divided by 6 is 2, so everything there is 2. 2 times T is 2T. Again, 2 times 1, that's 4 times negative, that will be negative 2. Okay. Now, 3T plus 2T is 5T. Is equal to, here we have 12.
Okay.
But we want this constant term, negative 2, to vanish. So we'll add 2 to both sides. When we add 2 to negative 2, we get 0. We add 2 to 12, we get 14. Then we divide through by 5. Which means that T, divide 14 by 5, you get 2.8. That is 2.8 hours. Okay. Now, we can rewrite this as 2 hours. 2 hours plus, now 0.8 hours. Now, we know in every hour, 60 minutes is 1 hour. So 0.8 by 60 is going to be 48 minutes. Now, we are told that Pump A began at 10:20 a.m. Now, so 2 hours from 10:20 a.m. will be 12:20 p.m. Okay? Now, so 12:20 p.m. We have 48 minutes to add to 12:20 p.m. Now, 48, let's break 48 down to 40 plus 8. So, 40 minutes from 12:20 p.m. That's exactly 1 p.m. Yeah. We have 8 minutes left. So it means that at 1:08 p.m.
the swimming pool
will be full. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, remember that this is a competition, okay? It's because we want our family, BBQ family, as teachers and contestants to be conversant with the way some of these things can be handled. We've taken our time to go through all this, but in a competition, there are a lot of steps you can jump. There are a lot of things you can even work in your mind, okay? Because you don't have time. Somebody may get the answer correct while you are still working. So take note of that, okay? Thank you.
Hello, is this Atlas? I need a car for my Texas excursion trip.
I need a car for my business trip to Navongo.
Can I book a car to chauffeur my family to the airport?
The winner, ladies and gentlemen, Atlas rents a car.
Okay, so BBQ 2022 is around the corner. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be full of life.
I can't wait.
You can't wait for it.
I can't wait for it.
It's going to be. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
If you miss it, you've missed something big.
Yeah.
And so we'll be expecting you there. Remember that it's going to be mental. It's not muscles. Okay. And we are always available. Our numbers are going to be on the screen for you. And you can call us at any time, ask us any question that bothers you. Remember also that the standard has been set already. The standard, the mass questions, the standard has been set. It's not going to go down. It's going to be practical, real-life problems that we'll be solving. So get ready for that. Get ready for action. And we are waiting for you. Okay. Brain battle.
It's mental, not muzzle.
See you there. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.